After years of struggling with addiction, Shakina Feazell seeks sobriety and finds an intoxicating new love.
Their relationship was one that she never experienced before.
But when passion fades, Shakina is lured into a violent rock bottom that leaves Chicago's West Side reeling.
He pulled out the gun and he shot into the car, and they were on the run.
I just couldn't believe this. It was hard seeing my sister's face on news.
There are hundreds of thousands of women in prison at any given time in the U.S. These are the true stories of women who committed heinous crimes in the name of love. For my man. Shakina Feazell and her sisters have a happy childhood, growing up in the Humboldt Park neighborhood of Chicago.
It was a really nice neighborhood. Me and my sisters, we would go to the park and have fun. It was very nice growing up.
But visits to the park are secondary for Shakina, who was raised in a deeply religious household.
Wait 5 minutes and we need to go.
We would go to church mostly every day of the week. She loved singing. She stood out in a choir. She was lead singer. She had a lot going for herself. She was a very positive person growing up.
The high-spirited church girl shines amongst her peers.
She was friends with everybody. She was just the life of the party. She had a bright future. She's very smart. She taught me a whole lot.
However, as Shakina grows older, the fun-loving teen begins to find church life restrictive.
She was very outspoken. She wanted to be like her other friends, outside of the church, She wanted to just have fun.
Like many children that grow up in the church, Shakina rebelled. She started hanging out with the wrong crowd. Then she got involved in alcohol, which of course led to drugs.
The popular teen could now be found just about anywhere, except within the walls of worship.
She would hang out and be gone with her friends, and I would have to go and look for her.
Adolescent rebellion is quite normal. And so it's this constant pushing of the boundaries. And that pushing of the boundaries leads to very dangerous behaviors. And those dangerous behaviors then end up being chronic dangerous behaviors.
What starts as recreational drug use soon becomes an all-consuming habit when Shakina becomes hooked on heroin. To support her dangerous addiction, Shakina shoplifts from trendy clothing stores at the local mall.
She developed a reputation as a booster, selling the clothes that she stole, and she was successful at it.
It made her pretty popular in the community, but it also made her pretty popular with police.
She did what she needed to do to support that habit, and it got her locked up a few times.
And through all of her brushes with the law, her closest sibling still has her back.
Anytime my sister needed anything, help, I was there for her. I was like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna make it, we're gonna get through this.
So finally, in her early 20s, after several years of disappointing her family and herself, Shakina makes the decision to enter into drug rehab.
Shakina committed herself to getting better, getting clean, staying that way. Things were looking good.
I was very happy for her. Deep down inside, I know she wanted to, do what was right.
Then one day, during a group therapy meeting, Shakina catches the eye of a handsome fellow patient, 39-year-old Dion Banks.
Dion Banks was this tall, good-looking guy. She immediately was drawn to him.
She wanted to get to know him better, so she introduced herself to Dion.
The two begin talking after meetings and develop an intimate rapport. They build a relationship on a foundation of friendship and honesty.
He had trouble with the law, trouble with gangs, and that he was in prison for murder.
Most women would have run away from a situation like this. But what happens in many situations when we're talking about drug abuse treatment, it's about not making value judgments, and it really is about redemption and forgiveness.
Shakina and Dion's budding relationship seems more stable and intimate than anything she's felt before. But the two will have to wait before they can express their feelings physically.
When we look at drug abuse treatment, it is very frowned upon for the patient or the person going through the rehabilitation to engage in romantic liaisons, because it's really easy for that drug dependency behavior to now be transferred to a codependency behavior in a sexual or loving relationship with someone else.
Dion and Shakina tried hard to abide by the rules, and they grew even stronger.
When I met him, he was a okay guy, but I just felt like he was older than her. He was too old for her at the time. I kind of felt like something was wrong with him. I just didn't feel like that was the right person for her.
And when they're each released, Shakina is sober and feeling on top of the world, ready to face the streets of Chicago and remain drug-free with her man.
She continued her relationship with Dion, and things were going well. They both supported each other in their sobriety.
Now out of the strict confines of treatment, they let the sparks fly.
They were finally able to have that physical contact that they weren't able to have during rehab.
But as time passes, the couple finds themselves falling off the wagon.
Dion began drinking again, which ultimately led to Shakina falling back into her old habits of using drugs.
Dion relapsed, Shakina relapsed, and all hell pretty much broke loose.
And in no time, the gentle, supportive Dion that Shakina met in rehab has transformed into a monster.
Dion, being back on drugs and alcohol, would take that anger out on Shakina.
What the hell is wrong with you?
After a few months, the pair is using drugs full-time and crashing on friends' couches. Shakina uses her 5-finger discount to keep the couple afloat.
She did the shoplifting, which she was known to do well. She had to support herself and support her man. And Dion didn't want to have it any other way.
But no one could predict how this rocky relationship is about to spin out of control and collide into heartbreaking tragedy.
She thought she had something good, and it turned out to be the worst thing ever.
Get off the car!
It was very devastating.
Chicago junkies Shakina Feazell and her boyfriend Dion Banks are on a bender in need of cash, and no one is safe from this toxic twosome.
Shakina went back to her old ways of stealing things to support her habit and to support her man's habit.
But soon the couple's thirst for drugs will have no boundaries. March 23rd unfolds in the usual way for the couple.
Shakina and Dion had spent the night at a friend's home. The next day, they woke up and Dion tells Shakina, "Get up, we're going to the mall."
Get up.
Shakina knows that any trip to the mall means she'll have to ply her illicit trade.
So she thought, I need to get on my job and go shoplift so we can sell some things. It's time for us to, get high.
It's quite possible that Shakina may have engaged in shoplifting again simply to get the money to be able to get the next fix. And as I see with many people who are drug addicted, to avoid the painful withdrawal from being drug addicted.
At approximately 2 p.m., Shakina and Dion arrive at their destination.
Ford City Mall on the southwest side of Chicago, it's always crowded. They've got great stores, and it has the movie theater that's next to it on the property. So it's very popular.
It's then that Dion tells his leading lady they're going to mix it up.
Let's go big, baby.
I'm thinking it was a change of plan. I don't know exactly what happened. They were going to shoplift in one of the stores in the mall, but he decided to carjack someone.
Shakina probably felt a little relief because they were going to use that money from the car to fund their habit.
After driving around the parking lot for a few minutes, Dion spots his target.
That's it. That's why I was up.
Dion saw the perfect car that he wanted.
Stop the damn car.
Oh my gosh, what the
Shakina
hell?
watches as her man pulls a gun from his waistband and marches toward the
Get off the
car.
car.
he approaches the car. There's a woman inside. So he's screaming at her, cursing at her, "Get the F out the car."
Get the hell out the car! Get out the car! You hear me?
She's not moving fast enough, and Dion just snaps.
Dion shoots through the window, shooting the lady in her thigh. Dion then drags her out of the car, gets in the car and pulls off.
He just leaves her on the ground.
My sister was in shock. She didn't know that this was going to take place.
As the armed hood takes off towards Shakina in the stolen vehicle, he's shocked to see two frightened boys sitting in the back seat. The woman Dion had just shot was their mother.
They seen all this happen. I can't even imagine what they were thinking at that time. It had to be very devastating for these kids.
It takes just a split second for him to make his move.
Get up!
Dion stops, lets the two little boys out, and then proceeds to leave in the stolen car.
Shakina was more afraid than she had ever been. She didn't know what to do, but she knew that she had to quickly get in gear and follow Dion.
The two waste no time speeding away from the scene. Back in the Ford City Mall parking lot, the two little boys race to their injured mother's side.
Bystanders that were at the mall saw exactly what happened. The two little boys, of course, are around their mom, consoling her.
Onlookers called for an ambulance. The boys crowded their mother, clinging onto her, and she was rushed to the hospital.
Beloved 40-year-old mother of two, Rose Newburn, has lost a lot of blood and is hanging on to life by a thread. Her children are examined, and while traumatized, the 4- and 5-year-olds are now safe from harm. With the dangerous duo now long gone from the scene, police begin their investigation.
Witnesses tell them what type of car was stolen, and police put out a be on the lookout alert.
Across town, Shakina remains closely behind Dion as he speeds erratically through the streets of Chicago.
My sister was afraid. I feel like she was threatened. She knew that he had a gun.
Shakina's heart was pounding at this point.
And the mayhem has only just begun. And later, in Lakewood, Washington, Toni Marie Williams Irby throws caution to the wind to live dangerously with her lover.
There was an excitement, just the idea of maybe doing something illicit.
She looked out onto a sea of panicked and bloody customers.
In Chicago, Illinois, after witnessing her boyfriend shooting and carjacking a young mother, Shakina shadows her man as they continue to race down the shady path that's unfolding in front of them.
Why, in this situation, would you follow someone who committed a violent act? Perhaps the male in this situation is extremely violent, and the female realizes that she might be a victim of that herself if she doesn't cooperate. And secondly, the payoff for both of them, if they got away with this, would be to get their necks fixed.
The crooked couple drives on the expressway before exiting approximately 45 minutes later. Once alone, Shakina attempts to talk to Dion and figure out their next steps. How they can turn the car into cash to score drugs without getting caught.
Shakina is trying to calm Dion down, trying to calm this monster down.
But any semblance of the man she loves is gone.
Dion was enraged.
Dion suggested that they unload that car, so he instructed Shakina to take him to a chop shop.
Shakina tries reasoning with him.
I'll kill you! I'll kill you and kill me!
Finally, this seems to work, and she gets an idea.
Shakina says, okay, I know of a chop shop, but she didn't know of a chop shop.
After driving around looking for this fictitious garage that will buy their stolen wheels, Shakina has a plan to ditch Dion.
As they're going along, large park, heavily populated area, middle of the day.
She speeds up, hits two parked cars. She hits one so hard that her airbag deploys. She gets out, pretending to be injured.
Shakina crawls out of the car and onto the pavement, pretending to be injured.
Dion comes over to find out what's going on.
He tells the small crowd that surrounds them that he'll take care of her.
Shakina screaming, no, no, no. Dion picked her up anyway, put her in the car, and off they went.
Dion ends up gaining control once again with Shakina. She's very fearful at this point for her safety, for her life.
I believe my sister was in shock.
As the couple makes their exit in the stolen Intrepid, Shakina pleads with Dion not to hurt her.
Shakina tried to wrestle the gun out of Dion's hands.
Meanwhile, the couple's trail of mayhem has finally triggered the attention of law enforcement, who are already on the lookout for the stolen vehicle.
A cop pulled up next to them. Dion saw the car, he hit the gas and sped off. Lost control, hit a pillar, he got out the car and ran.
Shakina stayed there. At this point, it's over for her. She just wants this to be over. She's taken into custody. Dion is captured a short time later after a foot pursuit.
When the couple is brought to the police station, they are told that the owner of the Intrepid, Rose Newburn, died hours earlier, bleeding out from the gunshot wound in her thigh, inflicted by Dion. Shakina Feazell faces multiple charges, including first-degree murder, aggravated vehicular hijacking, and possession of a stolen vehicle. Dion Banks faces the same charges. At trial, Dion is convicted of 5 counts of first-degree murder and aggravated discharge of a firearm. He is sentenced to death. Shakina is found guilty of first-degree murder and armed vehicular hijacking. After successfully appealing her case, her sentence is reduced to 27 years. Several years later, the governor abolishes the death penalty in the state of Illinois. Dion Banks is now serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The choice Shakina made to prioritize her man over her sobriety has led her to a life behind bars.
I believe she was a victim of domestic violence and at times was very afraid for her life from what we know. But secondly, that she was addicted to drugs and therefore had a lot of the emotional challenges that come with drug abuse and drug dependence, and someone who enables you and helps you to get the drugs.
Away from her sister and the rest of her family, she now regrets ever meeting the once gentle and charming Dion Banks.
Shakina had everything going for her. Loving family, church background, but she became under the thumb of an abusive, controlling, much older man that she lost herself. She threw her entire life away for her man.
I really think that she thought it was more of love than what it turned out to be.
Shakina Feazell's hope for true love crashed and burned when she fell under the spell of a man who fed into her addiction. Next, Toni Marie Williams Irby starts a destructive chain of events when she falls in love with a charismatic crook.